My wife said she was working late again, so I cooked dinner for her and our kids by myself. At 10 p.m., she still wasn't home. I called, no answer. I checked her location and saw she was at a hotel downtown. I drove there, heart pounding, and saw her walk out holding hands with her boss. When she saw me, she rolled her eyes and said, "You're embarrassing yourself." A week later, her sister secretly sent me a video that changed everything. I'm a 43-year-old guy living just outside Columbus, Ohio. HVAC technician. Been in the field nearly 20 years. I come home smelling like insulation and sweat most days. My wife, Lisa, she's 39, worked in marketing or something. She always said it was too boring to explain. Big clients, lots of pressure, tight deadlines. She wore fitted skirts, heels, perfect makeup. We have 2 kids. Tommy is 12, Gracie is 9. Good kids. I cook, I do laundry, I fix stuff, I run the house. Lisa used to help. Used to. It started slow. First, she was staying late at work a few times a month. Then a few times a week. Then nearly every day. Always the same line. Big client dinner, or working on a pitch. I didn't like it, but I didn't question it. I trusted her. I figured I'd be a jerk if I doubted her when she said she was working. This particular Thursday, I got home around 5:15, covered in grime from a furnace job. Lisa wasn't home. Texted her, "Home. Kids are starving. You coming soon?" She replied, "Working late again. Client dinner. Don't wait up." I just stood there, reading the message. Then I sighed and started cooking. Grilled chicken breasts. Mashed some potatoes. Boiled corn. Gracie helped me set the table. Tommy sat quietly doing his homework. Lisa used to be home by 6, 7 latest. That night, we ate without her. Again. I got the kids in bed around 8:30. Then I cleaned the kitchen, took out the trash, and sat on the couch staring at the front door. At 9:40, I sent her another text. "You okay?" No reply. I called. Straight to voicemail. By 10:15, I started to feel that cold knot in my stomach. Like something was badly wrong. That's when I remembered that a while back, she'd shared her location with me when she was traveling alone. I opened my phone, pulled it up, and I saw it. The Grand Regent Hotel. Downtown. It was like being punched in the chest. I knew that hotel. It wasn't where people had client meetings. That's where people had affairs. I couldn't sit still. I threw on my jacket, grabbed my keys, and left. I told our next-door neighbor, Donna, to keep an ear out for the kids. I didn't say why. I just said it was urgent. I drove downtown with my heart thudding so hard I could feel it in my throat. I parked across from the side entrance of the Grand Regent. Waited. At 10:48 p.m., the door opened. My hands started shaking. There she was. Lisa, wearing a black dress I'd never seen before. She looked good, done up like she was going to a fancy gala. And then I saw the man. Tall, slick hair, nice suit. He looked like a walking LinkedIn profile. He reached for her hand, and she gave it to him like it was the most natural thing in the world. They walked out together, laughing. Then he leaned in and kissed her. Not a quick kiss. A slow one. Comfortable. Familiar. And she kissed him back. I stepped out of the truck. I didn't say a word. Just stared. Lisa saw me. Her face didn't twist in shock. She didn't gasp. She didn't cry. She rolled her eyes. Then she looked right at me and said, "Eric, you're embarrassing yourself." Then she turned to him, said something I couldn't hear, and they walked off to a black BMW parked around the corner. She got in with him. And they were gone. I stood there, staring at the empty street. I went home. Sat in the kitchen for hours. The house was silent except for the hum of the fridge. I didn't sleep that night. I didn't eat. I just sat there like I'd been hit by a truck. She came home around 6 a.m. Her hair was messy. She didn't even look at me when she walked in. Just said, "Morning. I'm gonna shower. Don't start with me." Like I was the problem. I didn't say a word. Not then. Not for days. I couldn't even look at her. She acted like nothing had happened. She texted during the day like normal. Smiled at the kids. Said she was busy when I asked if we could talk. I was spiraling. I couldn't focus at work. I'd replay that moment in the street over and over. Her walking out, hand in hand with another man. That kiss. That eye roll. Then, one night, I got a text from her sister Rachel. We hadn't talked much in years. She was the odd one out in Lisa's family, told it like it was. "You didn't hear this from me, but you need to see this." There was a video. Just over 30 seconds. I hesitated before opening it. Then I pressed play. It was Lisa. In a hotel room. That hotel room. She was sitting on the edge of the bed in lingerie, laughing, holding a glass of wine. She looked at the camera and said, "If Eric finds out, I'll just cry and blame him. He's such a sap. He'll believe whatever I tell him." Then she smiled and winked. "He's so used to doing everything, I doubt he'll even fight." I sat there, staring at the screen. My hands were cold. She'd already cheated, lied, disrespected me. But this? This was war. After I watched the video, I didn't eat for a full day. I sat in my truck during lunch breaks, just playing it over and over. Her smirking, talking like I was some idiot servant who didn't deserve the truth. Rachel texted again the next day. "I didn't want to get involved, but Lisa's been bragging about this guy for months. Said he's rich, divorced, wants to take her to Chicago. Thought you should know." That's when it clicked. She wasn't just cheating. She was planning to leave me. Leave us. But she wanted me to look like the problem. I needed to think. Not act out of rage. I needed to be smart. The kind of smart that hurt. I started making copies. Bank statements. Text logs. Her emails, which she never logged out of on the home computer. I found hotel receipts. Lyft rides. Dinner charges to her business card on weekends. Then I did something that made my stomach turn. I met with a lawyer. A divorce attorney. Her name was Dana, and she didn't sugarcoat a thing. She said, "Eric, if you don't file first, she's going to ruin you. She'll spin a story about you being unstable or neglectful. You're the primary caregiver. The judge needs to see that now." So I did it. 3 days later, I filed. I didn't tell Lisa. Instead, I let her walk into her own trap. That Sunday, I made pancakes with the kids. Played with them in the backyard. Took photos. Documented the whole day. Lisa came home from work around 7 p.m. Her hair was done, her makeup fresh. Not a single trace of guilt on her face. That night, I put a manila envelope on her nightstand. Inside was a copy of the divorce filing. All the evidence. And a printout of the hotel video. I went to sleep on the couch. At 2 a.m., she stormed in. "Are you kidding me? You're doing this now? You don't even have proof." I didn't raise my voice. I just looked at her and said, "The video says enough." She froze. Her mouth opened, then shut. Then she said something that chilled me. "Fine. I'll take the kids. Let's see how long you last without me." I smiled. "Just once." Small and tired. "You're not taking the kids anywhere." The next morning, I handed my lawyer a thumb drive full of files, timestamps, screenshots. She smiled and said, "This is going to bury her." But then, things got messy. The man she was seeing? Her boss? He was married. And his wife found out. Not from me. From Rachel. Lisa's own sister sent her a message, told her everything. His wife blew it wide open. Called Lisa's job, reported the affair to HR, and then filed for divorce herself. It was a firestorm. Lisa was suspended pending review. Her name dragged through office gossip. Lisa came home one night and screamed at me, "You told her. You ruined my life." I stood up, walked over, Calm. No. Your sister did. I just watched. She threw her coffee mug against the wall. It shattered. Gracie came down crying. That night, I started sleeping in the guest room with the door locked. She wasn't done, though. She started fighting dirty, telling the kids I was mad at Mommy, that I was trying to break up the family. I caught her whispering lies to Tommy when she thought I wasn't around. I sat both kids down and said the hardest thing I've ever had to say. Mom and I are having problems. Grown-up problems. But I love you. I will always fight to be in your life. No matter what. Lisa didn't like that. A few days later, I came home to find my work laptop missing. So was the emergency cash I kept hidden in the back of the closet. Then my truck's tires were slashed, every single one. I reported it all. Quietly. I wasn't going to give her the explosion she wanted. Then came the court date. And the courtroom showdown. She came in with a new lawyer, sleazy-looking guy, slicked back hair, fake tan. They tried to argue she was the victim. Said I was controlling, that she'd emotionally distanced herself, and I was clinging. Then my lawyer stood up. Presented our folder. Showed the court Lisa's expenses, her lies, her text messages, the video. Lisa's face turned white when the judge asked her directly, "Is that you in the video, Mrs. Myers?" She couldn't speak. The judge granted me temporary full custody. Her visits had to be supervised. But I wasn't finished. Lisa didn't show her face at the house for 3 days after the hearing. Her sister Rachel came by to drop off some of Lisa's things, makeup bags, hair tools, a box of clothes. She looked embarrassed just holding them. Rachel handed me a small envelope before she left. Said, "You didn't get this from me." Inside was a printed email thread. It was between Lisa and her boss. I sat at the kitchen table and read every line. She'd been scheming for months, not just to leave me, but to clean me out. She'd convinced the guy she was cheating with to help her open a secret bank account. She was going to wait until I was out of town on a work trip in March, then take the kids, drain our savings, and file for full custody, claiming I was abusive and not mentally well. She literally said in the email, "Once I have the kids and money, I'll say he's been acting strange. Maybe throw in a fake affair too." She signed it with a damn heart emoji. That was the moment I stopped thinking of her as the woman I married. I handed the email to my lawyer the next day. She just shook her head. She tried to build a case before you even knew there was a war. Now we make sure she never gets the chance again. A week later, Child Services showed up at Lisa's temporary apartment to investigate a complaint. Not from me, but from her boss's wife. Turns out, Lisa had been spending nights with him and his teenage daughter, who filed a report that Lisa screamed at her and threw a wine glass at the wall during a fight. Lisa called me crying that night. I didn't answer. Then she tried again. Texted me at 2 a.m. "Can we talk?" I messed up. I know I did. I didn't reply. She came by the house the next day, begging on the porch while the kids watched TV inside. She looked like a shell, no makeup, circles under her eyes, voice cracking. "Eric, please. Just let me explain. We can fix this." I wasn't thinking straight. I stepped outside and closed the door behind me. "No, you were thinking straight. That's the problem." She started crying. Real sobs. But I didn't flinch. Then came the twist I didn't expect. Rachel called again. But this time, she was frantic. "You need to check the news. Her ex-boss, the one Lisa had been cheating with, he'd just been arrested. Federal charges. Fraud, wire transfers, embezzlement. The FBI raided his condo that morning. And guess what? Lisa's name showed up in a financial record. Turns out, those transfers they made to the secret account traced back to him. Lisa was listed as an alternate beneficiary. She was under investigation. Suddenly, her world was burning down in every direction. Job, gone. Reputation, gone. Her new relationship, blown to hell. Kids? She only saw them at a supervised center every other Saturday. And now? Now the feds wanted to ask her a few questions. Lisa called me the day before her interview with the feds. Not from her cell, but from a lawyer's office. The voice on the line said, "She wants to talk to you." Off the record. I agreed. Not for her. For me. She got on the phone, sounded small, broken. "Eric." I didn't know what I was doing. I got in too deep. He told me the money was clean. That we'd be fine. I stayed silent. Then she said, "If I go down for this, I might lose everything. I might go to prison. I can't live like that. Please, please tell them I didn't know. Just say I was confused. Say I was tricked." That's when I snapped. "You already did that. You lied. Cheated. You tried to steal my kids. You were going to leave me broke, alone, and humiliated. And now you want a clean slate?" She didn't respond. I hung up. The next morning, she was questioned for 5 hours by the feds. Her lawyer tried to shift blame, but the paper trail was bad. Really bad. Her name was on documents, and there were emails showing she knew what the money was. She wasn't the mastermind, but she wasn't innocent either. They charged her with conspiracy to commit fraud and money laundering. Bail was set at $50,000. Her boss? He stayed in jail. When I told the kids, I kept it simple. Said Mom made some big mistakes, and the court said she needed to be away for a while. Gracie cried. Tommy clenched his fists and asked if he could throw away the Mother's Day card he'd made her. I told him he could do whatever he needed. Meanwhile, I kept working. Paying the bills. Cleaning up the mess she left. I filed for full custody permanent. No more supervised visits. I told the court she was a danger to their stability. And the court agreed. She tried to fight it. But every time she opened her mouth, her own lies came back to haunt her. Rachel kept helping, too. She testified in court. Said she'd watched Lisa plan it all like a chess game. The judge thanked her. Said not many people had the guts to stand up to family like that. Then came the sentencing. Lisa got 18 months in federal prison. Not jail. Prison. Her lawyer begged for house arrest. Said she was a mom, not a threat. The judge said, "You tried to destroy your husband's life. You involved your children. You chose greed. This is the consequence." She cried when they cuffed her in the courtroom. I didn't go. But Rachel did. Sent me a photo of Lisa walking out in a beige jumpsuit. Rachel just texted. She blinked first. In the end, I wasn't perfect either. I should have seen the signs sooner. Should have asked questions. But I was too busy keeping the house running. Too tired to admit something felt off. That was my mistake. But I didn't let it destroy me. Now? It's been 6 months. Lisa's in a facility in West Virginia. I get legal updates, nothing more. The kids and I are doing better. Tommy joined football. Gracie's painting again. Some nights I still sit at the kitchen table remembering that night I made dinner alone. Remembering her walking out of that hotel, holding his hand, rolling her eyes. She thought I was weak. She thought I'd lie down and take it, but she didn't know what I'd do when I stood back up. She does now.